What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Outriders. This is a game that's currently in development for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, and current gen tech. And yes, you heard me correctly, this is true next-gen gaming, and I have had a chance to play it. Not just for a second, I actually got a chance to sit down with this for a couple hours. So a few weeks ago, I got this email from Square Enoch saying, hey, we want to show you this top secret game, but you gotta fly over to LA to see it. So I said, of course, yeah, let's see it. So they flew me out, they put me up in a hotel, and they unveiled this. Outriders is coming in holiday of 2020 when the new consoles come out, and it is a freaking blast. The only way I can really describe it, if I had to use like 3 simple words, I'd say Diablo in space. It has shooting, it has looting, it has a ton of magic, and it has some very interesting options when it comes to difficulty. Let me start off by telling you exactly what it is I got to test. So as soon as we got to the studio, all the game developers actually came out and talked to us, and they said, right up front, we just want you guys to know this is our new project. Our previous thing we made was Bulletstorm. We want to make more stuff that's fast and fun and crazy, but this will not have any microtransactions or any loot crates. Our goal is just to make a great game, and everybody in the room literally cheered because we're so happy to just see a game that is straightforward awesome. But as soon as I got into it, this is where things got super intense. So this is the opening couple hours of the game. I was able to run around, make a custom character, and experiment with all the different abilities. Outriders is a co-op shooter. It's possible to play it solo, and some of the people at the other stations around me were playing it by themselves, but in my opinion, everything is better with multiplayer. So I ended up playing it with this random guy named Greg. It's up to 3-man teams, so it can be you and 2 friends. When you go into this, you choose a class. Right now there are only 3 classes in the game. They said that there's going to be 4 classes total at launch. In this version, we had the electric-based trickster. This is a guy whose ability is basically slowing down time. You can stop bullets or make it where whenever people are trying to run away, you can stop them. Then there's the rock-based devastator. This class is kind of like your tank. He has a bunch of abilities that are based on stone and rock. He could do things like create armor across his body or shoot pebbles like bullets. And then there's my personal favorite, which is the pyromancer. This class specializes in just blowing up everything around you. I could actually do something like snap my fingers and it would just instantly set somebody ablaze off in the distance. Or I could dominate, just blow up everything around me with a melee attack that would actually explode like a grenade. Now all of these abilities look really cool, but what kind of caught my attention is that they almost instantly recharge. We got a chance to talk to the game developers, and something they said that I thought was really cool was they said, hey, we want to make sure that the abilities you have in this game are basically just like the weapons. The same way when you're playing a first-person shooter, you can just fire and fire and fire and then reload and keep playing and enjoying that gun. We want the abilities to be like that. We want to make it where everything is constantly usable. So most of the skills would recharge in just a few seconds. And that to me was incredibly nice. Of course there are ultimate abilities that are much stronger and take about 40 seconds to recharge, but for the most part, pretty much anytime you wanted to use a specific skill, it was available. Now this is first and foremost a looter shooter. Throughout the course of this demo, I was able to explore quite a bit, doing the main mission, defeating a main boss, and doing a lot of side quests. And something that I really enjoyed was that there's a lot of freedom, but it's definitely not open world. In a lot of ways, this does remind me of Diablo, and I am a huge fan of Diablo, so I thought that was awesome. And what I mean by that is, you go into an area, and you typically have a specific objective, trying to kill a certain target, or you need to try and dismantle a wall that's next to a base or something. something. And when you go into it, you're constantly progressing towards that, fighting waves of enemies or trying to work together with your friends to save somebody, things like that. And that's when I really noticed that you're constantly getting gear. That was really nice because it made it where there was always this fun thrill of kind of exploding these bad guys like loot piñatas. You were always having that potential for a new set of pants or like a new cool hat or a giant shotgun that could be much stronger than your current tech. And since there are so many different styles of guns and crazy things you could do to it, it was nice to constantly just have new things to try and equip. Now, I do want to talk very specifically about difficulty because, in my opinion, this is by far the best part of the game. So your character levels up as you're playing, as you're fighting, as you're doing quests. You're earning a ton of experience points, which level you up relatively swiftly. As you get stronger, you have the ability to get extra talent points, to customize your class, to make it where you can better fit it to your playstyle. Like if you enjoy bashing people in the face, you can make your strength better, or if you enjoy electrocuting people, you can make it where your special abilities are more strengthened. But what else is interesting is, as you get stronger, you can choose to make the world stronger with you. You'll notice in the top left side of the screen here, it says my level and the world level. So you have the option of turning this up or down to get, basically to tune the difficulty to exactly what you want. I was constantly playing at the hardest difficulty possible and I died. What was funny is that we got stuck on the boss. The main boss was this like special dude who had electric, fire, and metal abilities all at once. He was so brutal, we died against him 7 times. And the developers actually walked up and said, you could turn down the world level if you wanted. And we were like, no, I want to fight this at the maximum of my ability. But it was also kind of just fascinating about the idea that anybody who's playing this game can tool it. They can turn it to whatever they think is the best experience for them. I do feel like a big part of the next generation is going to be options, about the ability to make things exactly the way you want, and the ability to really tune this world to be as brutally difficult or breezily easy as you want is a nice little touch. Now, the last thing I really want to get into is the lore, the backstory of Outriders, because obviously story is a big motivator. So in this, we are basically on a new special planet. There's been a series of giant wars that have wiped pretty much everybody out. And the last couple people alive have all gotten together on a giant ship and shot towards the stars. Awakening from cryosleep, they find what looks like a utopian planet. It seems almost like primordial Earth. There's breathable air and beautiful trees and some nice little friendly wildlife. But suddenly, a mysterious storm shows up called the Anomaly, and it seems like everybody who gets caught in it is vaporized. I mean, literally, like people get hit by it almost look like they're being downloaded into the Matrix or something. Except for our character. When he gets hit, instead of dying, it just looks like it hurts him a lot, and so they try and help him out, and the doctors put him back into cryosleep until they can try and figure out a solution. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they managed to fix him, because the game begins when you awaken from this cryosleep 30 years later, and I got some bad news. Everybody just decided to have World War III again, but now on this planet. Everybody is dead. The only people that are left are now this new civilization that has risen up in the midst of this war. It has such a nice Mad Max feel to it. Almost this vibe of like, hey, everybody is already screwed. All we know is being screwed, so kill everybody and have a blast. I kind of like the chaotic nature of this game because while it is incredibly gory and graphically vicious, it's also kind of exciting. It's nice to be like the one sane person in an entire world gone mad. This is definitely a key aspect I want to see more of when the game comes out, because currently, I already like the gameplay a lot. This is a really, really fun thing, and I was actually cheering at the screen a couple times when we defeated like a particularly tough boss or something, but now I'm curious about the lore. I'm curious about the motivations. I'm so intrigued about what it is about this world that's happening, why the anomaly exists, and why it is that it made us so strong and killed so many thousands of other people. I am so freaking fascinated by what Outriders is going to be, and I guess we're all going to figure out soon when it drops on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, current consoles, and PC late this year. Now, obviously, this stuff could change a little bit. This game is like 9 months away or whatever, but in its current state, I absolutely love Outriders. I was literally playing this game until the developers asked me to leave. I mean, I was playing this demo longer than pretty much anybody else there. All the game's journalists played it for a couple hours and were like, okay, I have enough footage. I wanted to keep sitting there. I wanted to keep killing stuff. I was just having so much fun leveling up and trying to tinker with my talent trees. I want to play more Outriders right freaking now. But these have just been some rough, off-the-cuff thoughts. I hope it gets you excited for the next generation, because this is it, baby! Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming! Thanks again, Square Enix, for flying me out. I'm very happy I got a chance to try this game, and wowzers, I am ready! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.